DAYSTAR PANDA here. I don't really feel a video is needed for this intro, so I'm just going to make a quick little recording and then I'll get into the stories. Um, I usually don't do these kind of videos because I'm not really experienced with doing them, but I figured I would give it a try. But I figured that this would be a pretty cool idea just to tell a few stories of scary stuff that's happened in my life. And note, these aren't the only scary stories that I've had happened in my life. These are just three of the main ones that I think of whenever I think of scary stuff in my life. These are just like three of the main ones. I might do a part 2 to this video if it gets enough views and people like it. I tried to make the visuals in this video look really cool and hopefully that you guys will enjoy it. I'm not going to be talking for too long. I just wanted to say I hope you guys like it, and if it looks a little bit cheesy, then I'm sorry. I'm an amateur at making this sort of video, so yeah. I try to base like the style of it off of Mr. Nightmare because I like listening to his stories. His voice is really calming. One more thing, guys, before it gets into the video. We just hit 9,000 subscribers a few days ago, and I said in the video that I posted on my birthday that if we got to 9,000 that I will make a special video for you guys, and I'm going to do that now. I just need an idea for it. So just comment down an idea below. Just comment down below an idea that you would like to see, and if I like it, then I'll check it out. I hope you like these stories. Thanks again, and I hope you enjoy the video. Number 3. I'm not sure the year of this first story, but I was around 4 to 6 years old at the time. I was at home, and I was watching some movie about dinosaurs. My grandmother entered the room and said that she needed to go somewhere for a few minutes. I said okay, and she went outside, locked the door, and went on to do whatever she was doing. I continued to watch the movie, and about 5 minutes had passed, and as I was watching, I heard somebody knocking on the front door. Curious, I got up to see who it was. I walked into the living room and got on the back of the couch to look out the window, and from what I could see through the dirty window, there was a man wearing a dark gray jacket and blue jeans, but that's all I could make out of him. Not knowing who the man was, I didn't answer the door, so I quietly walked back to my room and continued to watch the movie. About 2 minutes or so later, I heard knocking once more, only this time it was coming from our back door. I got scared, not knowing what the man was doing here, or not knowing what he was going to do. I then went to the back door to check it out, and I honestly made a pretty stupid decision. I peeped through the back door's blinds, and I saw the man staring right at me. Scared, I shut the blinds quickly and ran into my grandmother's room and hid underneath her bed. As I was hiding, I heard the sounds of the doorknob shaking violently and the man beating on the door. I started to cry in fear that the person was going to get inside the house. A few moments later, I heard a car door shut and then the front door started to open. My grandmother walked inside. Relieved, I came out from under her bed crying to her and hugging her. I didn't tell her about what had happened, however, because I felt safe knowing that she was there now. I still feared that the man was outside, however, and I went back to the back door to look out the blinds once more. He was still there, to my surprise. He noticed me again, and he put his finger over his mouth, signaling for me to be quiet. He then ran off and hightailed it out of there. I never saw the man ever again. Number 2. This next story was more recent. I was out riding my bike late one night and it was pretty close to dark. The sun behind the clouds illuminated enough light to light the road up so I could see. And for it to be a Friday, that day was surprisingly calm. However, it was on a back road. I usually listen to music on my phone whenever I'm riding my bike, but my phone was on 4%, so I just decided to turn it off. I didn't mind it though. I like hearing the sound of nature, like crickets and frogs and such. As I was going home, I saw some headlights of a vehicle coming from behind me. It was a truck, and it started to slow down a little bit. This alone started to make me feel paranoid. I didn't really like talking to people I didn't know, and just as I thought, the truck came to a stop beside me. They rolled down their window. Immediately, I picked up on the smell of marijuana coming from their vehicle. The driver was pretty muscular. He had a beard and he was wearing a hat. There was a few seconds of awkward silence before he finally spoke. "What are you doing out this time of night?" "Oh, I live just up the road. I'm heading home right now, actually." "You need a lift? I could put your bike in the back." Thanks, but I'll be okay. It's not that far away. He then just stared at me for a few seconds, like he was upset with my response. Alrighty then. And after that, he just drove off. I instantly felt relief. A bit creeped out, yes, but I was just glad that he drove away. About 3 minutes later, I saw some headlights coming from in front of me this time, so I got on the right side of the road. As the vehicle got closer, I noticed that it was the truck again, and he was slowly driving, watching me. I was really creeped out at this point, and I started to pedal a little bit faster to just get home quicker. I had a feeling in the back of my head that he was going to do it again, so I was going to be ready for him this time. And just as I thought, he came back. There was a small trail that led through the woods and circled down a little bit further down the road. So as the truck neared me, I darted down the little dirt path, and surprisingly, he followed me. I came out at the end of the trail and back onto the road, and I had thought of a way to trick him. Whenever I got back on the road, I cut back through the woods and got on the trail again where I just was. So now I was behind the truck. He didn't see me though. He then pulled out onto the road and drove off. He must have thought I'd hightailed it out of there or something. Thinking that I had tricked him, I got back on the road and went back to my house. To avoid being spotted again, I cut through a field that led out to the main road to my house. And the ride home was pretty calm, but as I was pulling into the driveway of my house, the truck once again slowly drove by, watching me. I was scared shitless by this point, and I had had enough of this. I called the police, and whenever they arrived, I described the truck and the man to them. They said that they would be on the lookout for it, and so I thanked them and they went on their way. Well, that was over a year ago now, and it still scares me to this day. I just reflect back on what would have happened if I had actually gotten in the truck with that man. I still think I see him sometimes. Just watching. Number 1. This last story happened just about a month ago, so I can recall this one quite well. It was November the 17th on a Friday, and school had just let out for Thanksgiving break. I was at home and I was ready for a long weekend of writing on my movie scripts and video ideas, as I am an independent filmmaker and YouTuber. So to kick off the night, I thought that I would need some snacks as some inspiration for my work, as I always do. So it was about 8:30 and the stores were about to close at 9, so I didn't have much time. I left on my bike and I got to the store around 8:45, and most of the employees from what I could see had left already, and seemingly I was the only customer in the store. I got my Mountain Dew Black and those sour Airhead rainbow strips that I like, or gay bacon as I've heard them called before. Anyways, after I had my things, I went looking in the movie section for a little bit, when suddenly a man came up to me, and I didn't hear his footsteps, so it kind of startled me when he just walked up and grabbed my arm. He asked me if I had $5 that I could spare, and I told him yes, but I was already planning to use it. He gave me a ticked off look and then just walked away, not saying a word. I admit he was a little weird, but I didn't give it a second thought. I went to the register, paid for my things, and then I went back outside to where I had hid my bike at. There was a dark alleyway behind the building, so I figured that would be perfect for hiding my bike against people wanting to steal it. Approaching my bike, I noticed that there was a person standing near it, smoking, but all I could see was the cherry of their cigarette. I carefully approached my bike thinking it was just an employee, when suddenly he spoke to me. "So what did you buy?" At that moment, I knew it was the same man from inside the store. I lied and told him, I just bought some duct tape." "Let me see." I then felt uneasy now. I really gotta get going. Have a good day, sir." "No, show me." The man interrupted, and then he grabbed my bike. I told him to stop, and I grabbed my bike back from him, but this only seemed to make him angrier. "Why are you in such a rush anyway? I want to talk." He walked up and grabbed my arm. Sir, I really gotta go." "Come on, it'll only take a minute. I want to show you something." He signaled for me to follow him, and I did so. I noticed that there was a truck parked near the back entrance of the building, and I saw this as a plan to escape. So, when he wasn't looking, I made a mad dash to the road. The man immediately started screaming for me to stop, but I didn't listen, so he started chasing me. I was in flight or fight mode at this point, so I pedaled on my bike high speed back to my house without taking a single stop. But I got home safely and my night went on as I planned it. However, when I was done, I did not get a minute of sleep that night. I was just laying in fear, imagining what would have happened if I went over to the truck with that man. What would he have done? What was he planning? Who knows?